But LeBron is a player who loves to take control of his destiny. And that's why I say he is a GOAT, but it's not necessarily on the court, but in the game of life. You see, LeBron has shifted a lot of paradigms in the NBA. Even in the sports world, we're used to seeing athletes have crews and entourages in which they don't really operate as an entity, as a business. But LeBron James has things almost set up in a way where his friends are almost as big as a mogul as he is. When you hear Rich Paul signs a certain client, it's a big deal. It gets a lot of media headlines. They don't even have to mention LeBron. Same thing for any venture that Maverick Carter is on. LeBron using that Jay-Z blueprint where you can have friends that stand next to you and be just as strong. In case one of you fall, you could be each other's crutches. And that mindset really started at a young age. LeBron has been on this path for a very long time. It's not just about making a ton of money and being successful. He's laying down the blueprint and actually has executed on how NBA players or just athletes in general should move while they're playing in these leagues. They should see themselves as an entity. And this paradigm shift has actually changed so much that now every player is taking control of their destiny. It's pretty much a norm in the NBA now that players are not necessarily going to stay loyal to a city until a franchise ships them off when they don't need them anymore. Now they're going to stay loyal to themselves and view themselves as a business entity. And LeBron James gave some great insight to this as he sat down with Travis Kelce and they had a conversation of how he dealt with so many sponsors and companies coming at him at a very young age. But peep the mindset that he had.
Was it always Nike?
Trav, no, it was not. It was not always Nike. It was Nike when I was a young kid, when I was a young lad. Obviously, you know, I've been in love with Michael Jordan my whole life. So,
come on now.
You know, I saw him, Penny Hardaway, you know, Ken Griffey Jr., Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
I watched all these unbelievable sports figures. So as a kid growing up, it was Nike. Once I got into the AAU program, started playing basketball, Adidas took us over, you know, and it became Adidas. It was Adidas like from 7th, 8th grade to pretty much my junior, senior year. They sponsored us every year. We played in all the Adidas tournaments, big time tournament in Vegas and all over the United States of America. So it was Adidas. And then my senior year, the process began. The recruitments, the Nikes came in, and Adidas was still there. Reebok came in, and won. You know, all these companies came in, and I took on 3 pitches. I did an Adidas pitch, I did a Reebok pitch, I did a Nike pitch. The best pitch that I got, where I thought I was going to end up, was actually Reebok at one point.
Reebok.
I went to their meeting. And I sat down across from their CEO and the guys that was running basketball. At the time, I don't know if you guys remember this, but Reebok had the NFL as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's what it was when I first got into the league.
Yeah, they had the NFL as well. So they knew my love. They knew my love for football as well. So they had all the NFL jerseys, all the Pro Bowl looking jerseys that was going to be the next year. And nice. I'm sitting across from the table. I'm a senior in high school. I'm going back to class the next day. They flew me in. I'm going back to St. Vincent St. Mary the next day, my senior year. And the guy slides over a check to me at the end of the table. It's me and my mom and Maverick Carter at the end of the table. And he says, if you don't go talk to any other companies, this is yours. And I look at it.
You know, this sounds exactly like how NIL works today. A lot of these athletic companies are locking in players really early at a discounted rate. If any of them pop off, they got them for the cheap, for the very, very low price. Something that really doesn't get talked about too often. But again, it is life-changing money. But LeBron James is going to show you his mindset right here.
$10 million fucking dollars.
Oh!
10 million.
Just right there, as an 18-year-old, I was still stealing change out of my dad's fucking piggy bank to go get some candy and shit.
I was a high school senior, man. They gave me a check for $10 million, and if I promised not to go see anybody else, I told them I need a break. They stepped out. I need to fucking
I can't believe that. Right.
I sat there.
I need a timeout.
My mom looked at it, and me and my mom were living in an apartment and, Section 8 housing in Akron. I'm going back. I don't have shit.
Now, interesting, LeBron had mentioned that his mother was there along with him. He was a senior in high school. He was 18 already. The reason why I bring that up, because he was old enough to, go through that meeting himself. He was of legal age to sign any type of contracts without his mother. But they probably wanted him to bring his mother there because they understand the psychological kind of emotional attachment that his mother possibly has to security. Companies like these already know their financial situation. So it's not necessarily having him to say no to a $10 million check by himself, but he has to say no in front of his mother, which makes it even harder because there's so much emotional attachment to that security. It goes to show you LeBron James's mindset. Even with all that pressure, life-changing money at that very moment in his life, he still looked at the bigger picture.
And my mom looked at me. She said, son, trust your gut. If they're offering you this, then who knows what the other companies may offer you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mom.
Yeah, Ma.
She's composed.
Yeah, she's super composed. She's like, we ain't got shit already. So it's not like, it changes our life at this moment. Yes, maybe in the future, but I want you to trust your gut and do what you think is right.
That's awesome advice, man.
So they came back in, boop. I said, thank you. I would definitely like to continue our conversation, but I would be remiss if I did not take those other pitches from the other companies. I may have cried on the way home because I had to leave that
You're questioning. Man, I hope I just made the right decision.
I was like, I could have bought the building that me and my mom was living in with that goddamn money.
What? Easily. You already know.
LeBron James, I gotta say, he already saw himself as an entity. The fact that he had any reservations already, just seeing that $10 million check, he already had reservations because at the end of the day, from the moves we've seen him make, just putting Maverick Carter in position, putting Rich Paul at a learning position at Nike as soon as he got in there. See, he didn't just take an equity deal. He took a deal where his friends can get trained up on the business side of sports. And that's why they sit where they sit today. It's crazy to think at age 18, this guy already thought of himself as an entity. He just wasn't looking at basketball. And this is what makes LeBron James the GOAT. He's showing people who come from his circumstance, or they don't even have to come from his circumstance. He's just showing young people how to move in life. And that's what he's the GOAT of. Like I said before, he's kind of gotten rid of that athletes rolling around with the entourage. Now we see athletes kind of starting their own media companies. They view themselves as an entity. They're taking their training and the way they approach the game more serious. Dwayne Wade gave us insight on LeBron James' approach on the nutritional habits that he had in Miami. He was already preserving his body to make a long run. And now we see other players spending millions of dollars on themselves and their bodies to keep up the maintenance. That's why I say LeBron James is the GOAT outside of basketball. He's showing these guys how to move in life, how to invest in themselves, how to set things up in which we're even hearing Maverick Carter starting a international basketball league with sovereign money, possibly from the Middle East, and it doesn't sound crazy because he already put his friends in position. Never have we seen an NBA player, not even an athlete, move in ways like this before. Make no mistake about it, the NBA owners, they've noticed. LeBron James views himself as an entity. He understands that when he went back to Cleveland after leaving Miami, the net worth of that team jumped up by $500 million. So he was already up on game on how to leverage his presence in other ways to not only work in his advantage, but everyone around him. So to Mr. James, hey, we got to salute that.